Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday, December, Gemini, full moon 2019, baby. And hey, I gotta say, if you've appreciated my work over the last 7 years, or just all of 2019, or you just want to send me a birthday present for December 19th, which is my birthday, or a Christmas present, or a New Year present for 2020, you can send it to T. Lewison, 5430 Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas, 77096. I still think the bad guys are filtering out most of the digital stuff. But if you want to send me any love, I would appreciate it. All right. So for like the last 2 years or so, I've been warning Americans, Earthlings, that I had figured out that when all the gas giants are on the same side of the sun, we get a lot of earthquakes, weird weather, and volcano activity around the Ring of Fire and in weird, strange places all over the globe. And so we have been watching for December signals because I put out a 2018 warning for 2019-2020, but definitely in December with the full moon eclipse or the total solar eclipse coming up on the 26th, which I've been ringing bells about this for months. And so we've been looking for signs leading up to that event. And we started out with a 6.3 earthquake in Alaska on the 1st. And then on the 9th at the interstellar comet Borisov, perihelion, we got a major New Zealand volcano eruption that killed 11 people. I think they were in tourist boats looking at a volcano. And now, here on 12/12/2019, we've had a 4.8 earthquake in the Gulf de California. Now, technically, it's kind of in the crotch part of where Baja California and Mexico meet. I couldn't think of another analogy. And so, we're just keeping our eye out, especially since I've been warning of a major earthquake possible this year and definitely next year. We had a 7.3 earthquake in July in California, and so we need to keep our eye out through December, through 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Think you can do that? Okay, fantastic. Hey, thanks to the magic of technology and the account of volcano discovery, look, we've had earthquakes at the Askaja, Auckland Field, Clear Lake, Koso, Tirikas, Grensdaler, and Grimsvötn, and other volcanoes around the world. As you can see, Mount Rainier, Clear Lake, and Koso had smaller earthquakes, but earthquakes nonetheless in their little volcano fields, plus one out in Hawaii and one down here. Super congratulations to Baby Yoda, the THORnews winner of Person of the Year. Somehow, I don't think the people who really get into politics understand economies, money, and the whole system. Anywho, so before Brexit started, and good luck voting today, it's weird, because like in America, they're like, if you vote, it'll save all our problems. And then over in the UK, they're like, we voted, and it caused a shit ton of problems. Brexit, boy, is that a clusterfunk, toxic butt slurpee or what? No, I tried to keep it PG. Did it work? Anywho, we're looking at debt levels among the largest EU nations. And remember, before Brexit started, we had like Grexit and the eternal bailouts of the EU members. And so most of the EU nations are insolvent. Our own government's insolvent. It's like the whole world's insolvent. And instead of preparing for some type of major financial crisis that can't be solved with printing more money, we're just fighting over dumb shit. Oh, crap, I said shit. David He at Volcano Time Lapse is giving us the click click pow from the Sekijima volcano in Japan. under the full moon. It has been very active. We're seeing lightning and some lava. It's no joking matter, but as your planetary defense commander, I got to do this every day. And so I can only put out the information. I mean, I've literally warned about the West Coast volcano and earthquake coming over 100 times. But, okay. Well, look at this. It's a doozy, man. In surprising news this morning, Sean Hannity let it be known that the shocker is the new symbol of the 2020 election campaign. Thank you to the greatest audience in the world. 327 days before you get to use the shocker on the world again. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. 2020. I'm Baba Wawa, and this is 2020. Yeah, we're not there yet. We still got like 3 weeks. My math is bad. Somebody check that. Did you know, back in the day, Kelly Clarkson was literally my next door neighbor from like 10 years. I don't know, from like 2005 to like 2015 or some shit. I do hope everybody is getting into the holiday spirit. Yesterday at 6 p.m., I made a conscious effort to totally give up on the possibility of romantic love. And I've been in a great mood ever since. So I hope you do what it takes to get in the holiday spirit. Go team. Breaking. The U.S. President Trump tweets that Greta Thunberg should chill and go to movies. And then everybody freaks out. That's kind of how everything works these days. I asked super cool, super smart Anthony Macelio what the effects of a total solar eclipse might be on the wind, and he said, outside of tidal effects, perhaps it can influence solar winds and particle forcing inundation from the sun. These are things we can only guess at. Models will not show you in advance, of course. It can also have a negligible effect. So basically, I have no idea. So let's all take some guesses about the eclipse. Remember, I have post-traumatic stress disorder because in the 27 eclipse that went over America, 5 days later we had Harvey, and I live in Houston. I've started watching Parks and Rec, and wow, it's a really, 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 really great show. Why didn't anyone tell me before? And seriously, Marvel, y'all should have written that Thor got to cuddle more and fight less, you dickheads. Oh, also, go ahead and celebrate. Chiron is now direct. Paladins rule, and druids are overpowered. World of Warcraft reference, you non-nerd or muggle. I should get to the weather before you bitches get cranky. Looks pretty cool in Texas, although there's some strange hot double dick pocket. Detective, I need to ask myself, what if I'm in too good of a mood, All right, now we're looking at the 48-hour precipitation projections. And as you can see, it looks like at some point, a large portion of the United States is going to be covered with either rain, sleet, snow, or ice. This over the next 48 hours. So yeah, the West Coast, you're going to be getting blasted, mostly from Central California up through Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, all those places. And then all the places around the Great Lakes, you're going to be getting lake effect snow, real snow. And then there's going to be a weird peachy chunk in the middle by Indiana and Illinois. And then you get your storm moving up out of the southeast Gulf of Mexico and then up over the Stoats. I tried to say states, but it came out Stoats. Is that weird? Yeah, probably not. What if the famous chicks are just trying to bake my noodle? All right, we're looking at the weather projection of the next 7 days. As you can see, it's going to be a bit rainy, especially for like Tennessee, Georgia Land, North Carolina, South Carolina, and other states of the region. Plus Washington, Oregon, parts of California. Going to get a bit floody. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to look at 2 different model runs. And I want you to remember that Anthony, the super cool guy, and I agree that models are bad at picking up atmospheric changes when it comes to total solar eclipses. And so I want to let you know that pretty much anything past 3 days is probably unreliable. But we like to look at the patterns, the sizes, and the shapes, and count the number of storms. And somewhere in there you can figure stuff out. And what I do know is that for the rest of December, it is going to be stormy. And so I was counting these, and I counted 7 storms in the next 2 weeks. And look at that. Boom. That looks like a big NorCal hurricane hitting Washington. I mean, it wouldn't be anything too damaging, but remember, we're in a wave after wave after wave pattern. And so, multiple rounds of multiple precipitations, including wind, are going to start to cause some problems. And winter is just getting going. But definitely count on the weather to be wild, wacky, and strange for the rest of 2019. Probably for the first week or two of 2020. So we're seeing some pretty big storms. Although, from like 2015 up until hurricane season, the trend was for storms to overperform the models. But since hurricane season, storms have been underperforming the models, which is good in many ways. Now let's look at the next model run. But I think you can see that regardless of storm date, storm size, storm severity, we got storms that are going to be hitting the same places. We're talking the majority of the West Coast, top to bottom, the rooter to the tutor, from the North Pack storms, and then they're going to move across parts of the Great Lakes. And then you've got the steamy heat coming from the Popocatépetl volcano area in Mexico, which is going to be causing a lot of precipitation to be moving over East Texas, Louisiana, up through like Tennessee, the Carolinas, and then to move up the coast and punch Nova Scotia in the nuts. I don't know what Nova Scotia did. Sometimes you don't even really got to do anything. People will hold grudges for no damn reason these days. It's been a weird decade. But I did want to say, I'm glad you made it with me. And my birthday is on the 19th. I'm freaking shocked that I'm still alive. You know, as your planetary defense commander, things get dangerous sometimes. Especially, like, I didn't get to be a Star-Lord by just, taking the easy route all the time. So, I want to thank everybody out there who has helped keep me alive in one way, shape, form, fashion, or the other. And watching Parks and Rec, I think Andy and April might be my favorite couple of all time in television. They're definitely way more likable than Ross and Rachel or Monica and Chandler. Although, I don't know if they're as likable as Chandler and Joey or Norman Cliff or Dinesh and Guilfoyle. But we all know I'm big on bromances. Because I like comedy. All right, what's I talking about? So yeah, it's going to be a stormy period. Here, let's just play the count game, shall we? I don't know. I'm bad at math, though. Oh, just because I gave up on romance doesn't mean you have to. I'm a single white male who's never been married and has no kids, so I gotta pay for all the sins of all the men that ever came before me in the history of mankind. And because men were bad before me, women get to sin with impunity and then just blame it on us. I tried to make that funny, like George Carlin style. Did it work? Okay, so let's say storm number 1 is over here. Storm number 1. Boom. And then here's storm number 2. Okay, and then here comes storm number 3. The counting's kind of sketchy, but you get the idea. So there's 3. Then there's storm 4, and that one has the cyclonic features, like a gut punch. So that's storm 4. And then this is storm 5 because the Pacific's moving out there. Look at that. Boom. And that grinds on North Carolina like it was a hot southern belt. No, I'm screwing up my count. That's 6 behind it. I believe this is 6 over here, which is more of a high and tight fastball. And then you got 7 coming down there. And then leaving its tail with 8 moving in. So, I mean, count them however you want to. You know? Let's do it over here. Yeah. I like to do it multiple times in multiple ways because I take my weather freaking seriously. All right. So, this was the 060 run. So, we got storm 1 right here. I will count that as storm 2. This is a different storm, I think. Storm 3. Storm 4. Storm 5. Storm 6. Storm 7. Look at it hitting the coast. Storm 8. Look at that. See, this is when I saw that. I was like, whoa. That would be a wet Christmas. And it's kind of shaped like a dick. A weather detective. I don't know. Is that what dicks look like? Detectives. Detectives come in all shapes and sizes. Now I've totally screwed up my count. Okay. Michael Palmer of the Weather Channel is letting us know, still 5 days out, but models, especially the GFS, signaling decent severe threat lower Mississippi Valley, Mid-South region on Monday. SPC has jumped on board with a 15% chance of severe weather. That would be severe weather in here. And yeah, we are looking at the Edgar Cayce map earthquake type scenario. Nothing too alarming now. I imagine the weather would get more day after tomorrow if it were imminent. But the New Madrid earthquake happened with all gas giants on the same side. You had like an 8 earthquake, 7 earthquake over here happened with the gas giants on the same side. Cascadian 9-4, gas giants on the same side. Even the earthquake in 1984 at the World Series, gas giants on the same side. The volcano of 1915 that erupted in California, gas giants on the same side. 7 volcanoes eruptions up this chain. The 1800s, all gas giants the same side. You get my drift. And seriously, when a woman acts like she's in a 1940s His Girl Friday talkie, that could be one of the sexiest things ever. And please remember, if anything I said was offensive to you, your civilities, your stabilities, or your families, or your sensibilities, did I say that one? I apologize. And also remember, the future is wide open, or wide open the future is. And so, if some dickweed is trying to tell you the world's going to end, or it's hopeless, or there's nothing we can do, or we don't have free will, don't listen to them, because they've been saying that shit since 1999. 20 years of doom tomorrow, and it's never showed up, though it's still impending. Though if we don't figure out a way to transfer to a brand new system, we could be in deep trouble because the debt market has been expanding at exponential rates. I mean, seriously, if you lay a chart of the Dow Jones over the national debt, you'll see what I'm talking about. And that is real doom. That is a mathematical certainty. I know it's kind of scary. But life is a dream. And thanks to Anthony Macelio saying, here's the latest weekly 200 millibar WAF from JMA showing IO tendency to pattern currently, I've noticed it's getting more browner in the path where the eclipse will be taking place. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Heavy lake effect snow hit Leroy, that means the King, New York, and resulting in reduced visibility after coupled with strong winds. Got to keep on moving. Can't get no shit on my shine. I think that's how the song goes. Bulging Eyes by Michael Ventrise for If I Didn't Know Any Better, I might say this damn close to a stratospheric vortex split. Dun dun dun. Oh, hey you. One more warning issued by NASA. Asteroids probably going to hit Earth at really fast rates. Megan Watsky. In this New York Times story, Jonah M. Kessler and Hiroko Tabuchi use an infrared camera to document the methane leaking into the atmosphere from oil and gas sites and probably just the planet's cracks in general, because the Earth leaks methane. All right. I'm going to leave you with these soothing, relaxing, beautiful photo by Dominica Callia of the majestic white sequoias in the Sequoia National Park, California. Hey, wait, I started this trying to alert you guys about the possible volcano and earthquake activity at the end of this year and all through next year. So I guess I should end you on kind of an alarming type thing, I guess. We got the high split model indicating that the ash, in case of volcano emissions of Popocatépetl, could be directed to the municipalities of the Angelopolis, the Atlixco, Matamoros, or Mixteca region. Buenos dias, señorita. This morning, the volcano Popocatépetl dawn exhales a slight fumarole of water vapor gases of low ash content, and the wind disperses it northeast of Poblaban entity. A red, yellow, and green alert on Amarillo Phase 2, 12-kilometer security radius. Yeah, so the volcano in Mexico, Popocatépetl, has been one of the most active volcanoes. I would say it has been the most active volcano on the planet in 2019. So it's something to keep an eye on in our West Coast Ring of Fire watch of 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. And this is what a devastating earthquake in California would look like. Okay. So you had your 4.4. Of course, that's what they're calling it. In San Felipe, Mexico, along the crack. You had your 3.1, 3.5, 2.7, and look at these cute ones over here. And you get some ones happening down near Puerto Rico. So, everybody stay cool, stay aware. Oh, dude. Alaska's freaking kicking. And then you get some 5.0s in Indonesia. And you had the major volcano eruption over here. Over here is where you've had a lot of volcanic activity this year. And Greece had a 5.1. And then in China at a 4.4 in a pretty strange spot. I hope you can see that. Anyway, love you guys. I super appreciate you. And seriously, if you do want to send me any type of love for all my superhero work here at THORnews, I would really appreciate it. Anytime I get a letter in the mail, it makes my day. And I love you. Stay cool. Let's have a great holidays. God bless everyone. Merry Christmas.